Hello, everybody.
Wait, I'm not ready.
Oh, for fuck my life.
No, I'm kidding. Go.
I'm not putting that in.
Why
I
not?
know you want me to. I'm not doing it. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of the Ouch Potato Podcast. Ben and Josh back with you again. Josh, how the hell are you?
Well, that was a bit of a different intro, Ben.
Well, I thought the last two, they were humorous but over-scripted, and, it needs to be a bit...
You know the funniest thing?
What's that?
We actually failed to record this podcast
We did, yes,
yesterday,
that's true.
and Ben had an intro.
Well,
So I don't know what's changed in the last night, but you seem to have dropped it.
I'm just living the chill vibe.
What was it, Ben? Or did you just not have the piece of paper you wrote it on in front of you?
Yeah, I threw it away last night when it didn't get a plan.
It was something... No, I can't even remember. Just shows how much I cared about it, to be honest.
Well, regardless, we're back a third week.
Yeah, that is true.
Did you see that happening, or?
Sure. No, I don't know. I didn't really think about it too hard.
Okay. I mean, I'm quite proud of it, to be honest. As my...
But we made 3 videos,
Yeah,
and all we do is talk about things. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself.
I have to say, in everything I've done, I've only ever got 2 episodes or whatever it is I've been doing deep. So 3, it's a new beginning for me. So
What else have you failed at in life, Ben?
Oh my God. We just don't have enough time on the podcast to cover that, I'm afraid. There's been a lot of things, though. I was once called, what was it? A jack of many trades, a master of none, or something. I completely messed it up, but something like that. You get the idea.
A jack of many trades, but a master.
A jack of all trades, a master of none. That's the one.
So you're meh at everything and pretty not especially good at anything.
Yeah, nothing in particular. I just met all over across the board.
This is just chirpy, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. So
this isn't a place for you to talk about your problems with doing things, Ben. This is a place where we tell interesting things. So what's going on?
Let's start with what you've been up to since last week. What have you done?
The day before yesterday, yesterday, I went and chilled by a swimming pool.
Ooh, damn!
And then the week in that, I was recording videos.
Right. Okay.
And yeah, that was it.
Nice. Interesting. Eventful.
It's been a very normal week for me. I don't know.
So you usually hang out around pools and stuff, or?
Just in the weekends, I like to chill.
Fair.
Just me being me.
Yeah, you do you. That's fine.
What did you? I can just guess what you did, so I don't know if anyone cares.
Well, I actually did something slightly different this week. Obviously, I did the whole slave driving thing. Not that I drive slaves.
Driving.
I am the slave who's driven by you. But apart from that, I actually took. I want to say I took a rare night off. I'll rephrase it as I escaped from the factory. And
I don't remember you asking permission.
Well, I wasn't really going to let you know I'd done it, but obviously it's content, isn't it? So,
Too late now, I guess.
Yeah. So we took Amber, we jumped on a train and took a little trip to London, which was fun. Well, I say it was fun. The trip was fun. The train journey itself, it didn't go to plan how I thought it would, because we basically, ever since we started earning all this YouTube money, we obviously travel first class now on the train because, that's just what you do.
Obviously.
So you think, it's going to be a pretty safe bet,
To be fair, first of all, I know you weren't doing your story thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, but for someone like me, with the first class topic thing, the only reason I use it is because it means that I'm not surrounded by people and die.
Well,
that sounds weird to say, but think about how infectious a train or something is like that.
You say this, but you get ill every time you travel.
Yeah, and imagine how ill I would have got if I was in economy.
That's very true, actually. That's very true. That's not why I do. I mean, I should point out I don't do first class on planes yet, but on trains, why the hell not? Make it rain. But I don't do it for that reason of not getting ill. I just do it because I've got more money than everyone else, so I can do it. I'm joking, obviously. I don't have more money than everyone else, but I can do it. So the plan was, traveling in a bit of luxury. I should say is for people who aren't in England, it's not really luxury. It's just a bit nicer than the normal seating. And
there's less people.
Normally there's less people in there. So, and usually, the kind of inconsiderate people who are really loud and open smelly sandwiches on the train aren't normally in that class. It's normally just old businessmen. So, I thought it was going to be a really nice couple of hours on the train trip to London, really relaxing. No, No. Loud people. There was a woman sat a couple of seats behind me with her iPad out, without headphones in, FaceTiming almost the entire journey with someone. Who the hell does that? And that the interesting thing is with this, though, Josh, we've established in, I think it was episode 1, that you really don't have any problem with upsetting people, which I have to live with on a daily basis.
But this meets at a crossroads with the simple fact that I'm not interested in someone enough to FaceTime them for that long, so it cancels each other out.
That's true.
If that's what you're trying to
no.
work
What I was going to ask was, are you like me, where you sit there and think, what is this a-hole doing on the train? Why are they being so inconsiderate?
Oh, I usually
people?
say stuff.
Do you really? Because I was in 2 minds. I thought you were either going to be that person who would say something and say, like, shut the fuck up, or because you don't mind pissing people off, you might be that inconsiderate person on the train making noise or eating smelly fish.
No, I'm actually very considerate to people in terms of like it's considerate in a different way. Like, I'm considerate. I don't negatively impact people. Like, I don't just go out to people and then just like piss them off. Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Like, if you're nothing to do with me, then that's cool.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense? I'm not going to go on a train and FaceTime someone simply because I don't want to FaceTime people, but also I don't...
You consider it of other people.
Yeah, well, I just wouldn't impact someone's life for no reason like that when I don't need to.
But it seems like there are so many people out there that really just don't give a fuck, and they...
Yeah, but that's cool. No, she's just dumb, Ben.
No, but she's not the only one. There's so many people like that.
No, they're just dumb, then. They don't think... That's the thing. They just don't think about it, so...
The thing is, though, like, you got to wonder if you did actually say something, because she was quite... I don't want to sound classist or anything, but...
Oh, I don't get angry when I ask people.
Oh, no, I don't mean that, but I mean...
If there's someone in a plane, like, kicking the back of my seat...
Yeah.
I don't assume that they're doing it purposely.
No, of course.
I just turn around and say...
can you not?
No, I just say, can you mind your legs, please?
Right.
Or something like that.
But what would you then
like,
do
I
if they were
assume
like,
it's an
fuck
accident.
off? Who are you?
Well, they don't say that. There's no one has yet to say that.
I don't know. She kind of gave me the impression that if you would say something, she'd bite your head off.
How do you know?
The tone of the voice.
Right, okay.
The best thing was, though, like, I'd drawn this picture in my head of what she looked like just from her voice, because she was behind me. And I had this real stereotypical view of what she looked like. And then a bit later on in the train ride, this woman came from behind me and put something in the bin a little further down the train. And I was like, yep, exactly what I pictured. It turns out that that wasn't her. That was someone else completely different. And the one I was thinking was actually a lot younger. And
well, you're a bit of a dick then, aren't you, Ben?
Well, I didn't say anything, so it didn't really hurt anyone, did it?
True.
Yeah.
But you thought it. But okay.
I did think it's that everyone makes judgments in their head, whether they choose to say it out loud or not. You can't deny it. Everyone judges everyone. It's just the world we live in.
True. And speaking of judging people...
Ooh. Well,
I'm just trying to transition.
I was going to say, where's the segue
next.
going? Where are you segueing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to segue. What's the segue to, Ben?
Well, I mean, you know, this whole podcast is not scripted. It's so loose. It's so casual. It's so chill. But I mean, there's a couple of things we could talk about if you wanted
Ben, you're too old to say stuff like that.
There's a couple of things we can say.
I'm sorry. I'm too old for that, and I'm not even old.
Okay. Well, there's one thing I did want to talk about, and it's kind of a story that I read on this train journey, which is one of these stories that it's not funny. It's really dark, but
why are you smiling while you're talking right now, then?
Because you read the headline and then the summary, and you're
all
like,
right, come on, here you go. Just give it to me.
Okay, so the headline read, "Killed because he knew too much." So you're like, ooh, okay, deep. And then you read the summary, and it can...
Is this fiction or not fiction?
This is real. And it said, "Dad killed his son after the 13-year-old found disturbing photos of him eating poo while dressed in women's clothes and a nappy." I mean, how's that even a thing? And I don't know. I mean, equally, I should point out...
Yeah, why would he kill him? That's not a big deal.
And that's what I should point out. They think he killed him. The son went missing. And I didn't read the whole thing, but from what I could gather, he has never been found, but that's what they think happened.
So they had investigated the dad and ended up finding the stuff anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
The irony.
Yeah. I guess... It makes like you say though, it's not so bad. So what would you do if Alyssa found pictures of you eating poo dressed in women's clothes and a nappy?
ask if she's interested in joining in. I'd be polite first.
Okay, and let's play the two scenarios here. If she said, heck yeah, that's awesome, I guess you'd be happy. But if she said, no, you freak, why would you do that?
Well, then I kill her.
Right,
no,
okay,
I'm kidding.
the
No, I'm
obvious
kidding.
choice, right.
No, I don't know. Is it illegal?
I don't think it is. I'm sure you can eat your own poo if you want. Well, I don't know if it was his own poo, but
I know it wasn't really a question. I knew it was pretty much not
I think
illegal.
that's
I
what
wouldn't
you
say it
call
was
a
legal.
rhetorical question.
Yeah, but the thing is like I'm not an idiot to know that my girlfriend suddenly disappearing wouldn't bring eyes towards me, and then people would probably just find out the videos anyway or pictures.
You could always frame Rudy though. Or would you kill Rudy as well?
I'm sure he has eaten his poo at some point. So that
Yeah, so you two are naturally bonded.
I guess you could say that.
We're talking like you have actually eaten your own poo. This is all hypothetical, obviously. Whereas Rudy
obviously.
probably has eaten his own poo.
Yeah, sorry, I'm mixing reality and
it's becoming
fiction.
mighty blurred. Okay, cool. I mean,
what about you, Ben? What would you do?
What would I do? I mean, it's not so far fetched of me. I mean, I have a history with poo.
Oh God.
Yeah.
If anyone's eating right now on this podcast,
yeah.
either stop eating or turn your phone off.
You know, normally
or
I would
whatever
say
you're
I
listening.
shouldn't share the stories, but I've shared it on my own YouTube channel anyway, so I might as well.
Oh really?
So, oh yeah, I did a whole video on it once a while ago. This is the first story. I probably only tell one story, but the first story is from a few years ago. I was with my ex-girlfriend on holiday with her family in.
Shout out to Ben's ex.
Wonderful person. We were on holiday in Devon, so south of England, and I just had a really ropey tummy.
South of England? Do you mean west?
Southwest.
Sure.
Yeah, had a really ropey tummy, and she was like, "I'm really tired." I was like, "Yeah, go to bed. It's cool. I'll take care of myself." And yeah, so I went to the bathroom and everything, and I thought I was done. I got back to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, realised like I wasn't done.
I wasn't done.
No,
okay.
I wasn't done at all. So I had in fact run to the bathroom and had to take care of business, and I was like, Jesus, I got some ropey looking underwear right now. So I cleaned them off, washed them under the sink and everything, whatever. Yeah.
So you shit your pants.
I shit my pants.
And after you were violently diarrheaing everywhere.
Yeah. So I then
okay, just trying to clarify
you got to
this.
set the scene. So
very.
It was a good time. Cleaned them off, washed them under the sink, and then they had like a towel radiator in the bathroom the place we were staying at. So I put them underneath my towel on the radiator to dry off overnight.
You put your shitty pants.
No. I cleaned them. I cleaned them off and then washed them in the sink. So they were good.
Right,
they were good.
Okay.
Then I hung them under my towel on the towel rail and thought, right, they'll dry overnight. No one will be the wiser.
This whole time you're in a hotel.
No, it was more of a lodge, kind of like a log cabin.
And your ex-girlfriend had not woken up.
No, she was asleep. Yeah. I didn't scream when I shit the bed. Like I shit myself. I just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, I went back to bed.
Do people normally scream? I
don't know. You're surprised that she was still asleep.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
So anyway, I went back to bed. Fine, slept through to the morning. Anyway, woke up and she was like, I'm gonna go for a shower. I was like, all right, cool. So she went for a shower and then she came back in, and she had this really annoying habit where she'd use her towel for herself, and then she'd use my towel to dry her hair, like wrap it around her hair. So she came back in there and she was like, why are your boxer shorts under your towel? And I just kind of looked at her like, fuck. And
I wish she had wrapped the underwear.
Oh my god, can you imagine?
On her
Can you
head.
imagine? She just looked at me and she went,
and there's just a bit hanging out. Imagine that.
She just saw my face,
Sorry,
looked at me and she said, did you shit yourself? And I was like, yeah, I did, yeah. I mean, there was no kind of getting around it. How else would I explain it? I was just like, yeah, I shit myself. Little did I know that I didn't only shit myself, I shit the bed.
Oh.
Yeah, so that was a good time.
Wait, what? Wait, you're just like, wait, what? When did that happen? And how did you not know
That
that?
was a few years ago. It's because it wasn't like solid or anything. It was just kind of like liquid, and it kind of stained the bedsheet a bit.
And you slept on it?
I didn't know. It was dark in the bedroom.
You don't think it smelled a bit whiffy?
No, I thought it was all contained. And
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we just kind of like turned the bed around and kind of checked out and left.
And your ex-girlfriend was just like, yeah, this is she must have been with you for a while.
Yeah, I think we'd been
this was
together about
normal.
2 years at that point. So she was fairly tolerant of my anus. But yeah, that was.
Good to know.
Then I might as well tell the second story while we're on the roll. This was probably last year and a half ago, maybe. I was at Amber's place, my current girlfriend, and
This isn't another shit story, is it?
it might be. So we'd had.
How the normal person doesn't have 2 shit stories to tell, especially in one podcast.
It's in my sleep. I didn't have any control. So I'd had Pizza Go-Go the night before. So if you're in Norwich, never get Pizza Go-Go. And then I woke.
Never go to Pizza.
There you go, because it makes you go-go.
Pizza Go-Go makes you go-go.
I woke up in the middle of the night, like, oh no. And I shit myself again. So
You really just jumped straight to it that time.
So I ran to the bathroom and did all the necessary. It's all good. Anyway, went back to bed and fell asleep. And then in the morning I woke up, Amber went for a shower. And I had a look under the duvet thinking, did I shit the actual bed or just like in my boxes? No, I shit the bed again. So I was like,
oh, because you learnt from experience to check the bed this
time. So I was like, oh no. And I was like, what do I do? Because at the time it was still reasonably newish. It wasn't new, but you know, you were still finding boundaries in the relationship. And I was thinking, right, how the hell do I bring this up? So she got out of the shower and I was like, Amber, do you have any more bedsheets? And I had a bit of an accident. And she went, yeah, I know, I already looked. I was like, oh no. So she was fully aware that I'd shit the bed. And she was actually surprisingly cool about it. I think I was so great.
So do you think this is an age thing? Do you have, are your bowels giving way?
I mean, maybe.
Ben, how old are you?
I'm
You've dodged it. I was listening back to the last 2 podcasts and I realised that you have dodged this question.
I've dodged it. I haven't been asked it. I just...
Ben, how old are you?
I would probably say 26.
Ben, how old are you?
23.
Ben, how old are you?
33.
Ben, okay, I
am 33.
Right. Ben is 33 years old. He is old enough to be my father.
Maybe I am your father.
If he was to bust a nut at 13 years old.
Which I did.
There
you go.
Just so you guys know. So these shit stories, you now understand it because obviously he's at an age where it happens.
I have to wear adult nappies now.
The backside of you does give way and
gives way.
He's closing in on care home age. So
We're getting there.
Give him a break. But anyway, so is that the end of that?
Yes, that's the end of the anus saga.
Ass story.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you shared that with our listeners and took up a good, 10 minutes describing it. I'm proud.
Thanks. I think
really happy to see where this podcast is going.
Yeah, I'm almost disappointed that we're not going to title the podcast after this story. But I mean,
why do we? Is it like we've already got the clickbait?
I think there's going to be better clickbait, but I don't know.
Right, well, that's just too bad.
I guess we'll find out when this goes live.
Do you not find it weird? Do you not find it weird how like you're, I guess, overly expressive of these experiences, but this has probably happened to most people, and like people that you even like idolize is probably happened. Like,
yeah, it's true actually.
I'm sure like someone who you might idolize. I was gonna say the president, but that might not be.
I don't idolize the president.
Relevant right now. No. I think it's like a celebrity. They have probably shit the bed.
That's true actually.
Like, there's a good chance, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's 2 of us in the podcast. I haven't shit the bed. You shit the bed. That's a 50-50.
Give it time, though. You're young. It might happen.
There's a 50-50 chance that someone you know is maybe a shit the bed. Like, you might look up to... I don't know who I'd look up to. I'm trying to think. You might look up to Beyonce, and she probably shat the bed at one point. You might look up to Jay-Z, and he's probably shat the bed. They might have shut the bed together.
One of them has definitely shut the bed.
There's a chance, with how long they've been together, they might have shut the bed at the same night.
I reckon.
Imagine that. That would be quite a bonding experience.
I really would. This is deep.
Do you not think that people kind of look at celebrities and stuff and see them as
squeaky clean,
pure beings?
Yeah, definitely. But
I mean, that's the funny thing about YouTube is that like people kind of use that knowledge and look at YouTubers, but YouTubers are a lot more raw, and that's why you always get the drama and stuff, because it's like, wow, whoa,
yeah, they don't care about
they're
the
normal
as much. Yeah. So basically, you've now got everyone thinking, shit, they've probably shit the bed.
Yeah, just remember when you're fanning over some bit celebrity who's more important than me. That's the real issue here. I'm just like actually upset now. Then just remember, there's a good chance that they shat themselves, and they're human.
Like, interesting with the YouTubers. Like, I mean, Geordie's lactose intolerant. He's probably shit the bed once at least.
We should ask him.
We should. I think we just need to get him on the podcast just to ask him if he's ever shit the bed.
Should we? I mean, you guys are more than welcome to tweet him.
Yeah.
Tweet at Quebblecop. Have you shot the bed? See if it gets back to us somehow.
Yeah, do hashtag Atch Potato as well, because I'd love to.
We hashtag Atch Potato. This funny thing is we have not thought about it, but we're starting to understand the real potential of this podcast and the power.
Just finding out if people have shit the bed or not.
Remember to tweet at Quebblecop. Have you shut the bed? Hashtag Atch Potato.
Amazing.
And maybe we'll read out some listeners and what?
Yeah.
Read out some tweeters and listeners next time.
That'd be good. I'm really intrigued now. How's Quebblecop shut the bed? Okay.
It'd be funny if he doesn't listen to this podcast and then we bring it up to him when he joins. I don't know. I don't know if he listens, but
that would be good.
Whatever.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What about with other celebrities then? Like what? Because you brought up like some musicians like in that boring episode last week.
Sure.
That you had like fanned over, but I guess it's not really relevant anymore. Is there anyone like other than like music people that you're like fan over?
So, I mean,
because I'll say this for myself, like something that I noticed being a YouTuber is it really changes your view. Not only YouTuber because it's like a sub celebrity type of thing. Like I wouldn't say it was like full-time celebrity by any means, but it's like a class of celebrity.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And one thing that happens quite early on is you kind of lose the perception of like being a fan over people. Like,
oh really?
There's a few guys there's a few like actors that I'm like would be really cool to meet, but you lose that like quite quickly.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. So like, it's just interesting that I like, and that's sometimes weird because obviously with Alyssa, she still would like to meet some people, and she's like, I guess you consider a fan of certain things.
Hamilton,
and it's an interesting like she's a fan of like some Broadway shows and stuff. And it's an interesting distinction where I'm like, I try and like stay away from doing that, and like when I go to a performance or something, I'm like, should I be there type of thing.
That's interesting.
But I guess I know it's weird, but do you, so my question to you on that topic is like, obviously you're not anywhere near that, like you don't really have huge followings or anything.
I have got 13,000
stalking
subs
you around
on YouTube.
So that's really nothing.
Rude.
So do you still have like some like fandoms of people?
Oh, big time, man.
Like,
I've always been. I hate the phrase, but I will admit it. What's known as a star fucker. Like, I get excited by meeting people that I look up to or that I guess admire. Like
me.
Definitely not.
No,
definitely not you. But like like touching back on last week's boring episode, I hugely looked up to Linkin Park, and when I met them, it was really cool. There's certain people like, interestingly, an actor called Paul Rudd, who I know. Oh man, I really want to meet him. He just seems like the nicest dude. And the thing that annoys me is he doesn't have any socials. He's completely off socials, so there's no way of reaching out to him. It's just kind of like, if you bump into him, you bump into him. It's cool, and it's like, I don't know.
What was he in?
He's in so much stuff. Like I Love You Man.
The Ant-Man.
Yes, yeah. He's also in
a good movie.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
So you can really connect.
Oh man, I absolutely love Paul Rudd. Always have done. He was in, first thing I ever saw.
Really
was,
connect with his roles though.
Oh, big time, man. Yeah. He's just, I mean, he kind of plays the same. Oh yeah, I get your joke now. Yeah, funny. There we go, Josh. There we go. Yeah. I'm maybe a virgin, but I'm not 40 yet. So we're close.
You're working way towards.
I'm chiseling away to it. But no, I mean, I've always wondered about celebrity because, like I say, I've always liked to
fucked stuff.
Yeah, I've always
been a star fucker.
Yeah. I've always liked to meet the people that I look up to. Even
if you met Paul Rudd and he started making advances on you, what would you do?
I'd probably take him to bed and then shit the bed.
Realistically, though.
Oh, okay. As advances in like romantic advances? Or?
He just, like you meet him at a bar, all right?
Yeah.
He looks a bit low, like a bit down.
Oh, Paul.
But you don't realize it's him straight away,
Right, yeah.
and then you're at the bar too. You're all alone,
Yeah,
and which isn't a
Am I
stretch.
feeling down or?
I mean, does it matter?
Well, yeah, because if I'm down, I
And-
might be feeling a little vulnerable.
But it's Paul Rudd.
Fair,
okay.
fair, come on.
So, and then he kind of like, I don't know, leans over you or something, and you get a whiff of his cologne, or I don't know, and then you realize, oh shit, dude, that's your boy Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And then he's like, how? Sorry, he maybe knocks your drink over and buys you a new
He
drink,
did that on purpose.
and maybe, I don't know, I'm not trying to assume anything, but and then he starts like chatting to you and like puts his arm on your arm, type, you know, like rustles your hair on your forearms, and
How hairy do you think I am?
I've taken a leap. But how would you feel? Like, what would you do realistically? Being honest,
I think honestly, I'd be like Paul, flattered first of all, and it's quite a nice caress. And if it's staying like that and nothing more is expected of me, then by all means carry on. It feels.
Is that just a
nice.
guy thing?
Yeah, it just feels quite nice. You know, like.
No, wait, no. Is that just because he's a guy? Would you let him down?
Yeah. I'm not into dudes.
I mean, have you? How often have you been with a guy?
Well, I mean, I can't say I've tried it. So I mean, I know the whole.
Well, then
don't
how
knock
do you
it till
know?
Try it, but I mean, it just doesn't really. I mean,
It just seems odd to me that you'd be so dismissive, but you've never tried it. That's like.
would you? Well, I could turn the tables and ask you the same thing. I guess.
I mean, I haven't had an opportunity, so.
Yeah, but if
you know.
I mean, if Geordie started, you know, casually caressing your.
No, see, the thing is with Geordie is he you know, you got work boundaries, Ben. You got to
That's true.
understand
You've got to
that.
keep professional. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What about Garrett? I mean, that's
Garrett's way too old.
fair. Fair. Yeah.
I try and stay within at least double of my age.
Who's older,
so
me or Garrett? I can't work it out.
I probably Garrett.
I think so. Yeah.
Even if his number's younger, he's an older person.
That's fair. That's
Doesn't matter what his birth certificate says. It's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean,
He just likes to stay down with the kids.
that's true. I mean, equally, you could always go down the route of, you know, why not? I'll hook up with Paul Rudd. I can always sell my story and make a bit of money out of it, you know. Or you never know. You might actually end up liking it, and a huge romance could kick off, and you could find your future husband.
Do you not think you'd be better off, like, draining that Paul Rudd sea monkey? What's Paul Rudd's net worth?
Oh, should I Google it?
I'll Google it, don't
Okay, I'm
worry.
intrigued. I actually want to know this as well. This might be a deal breaker, this one.
30 million.
Okay, yeah, I'd take it in the butt. You know, for someone who's worth 30
That might
mil.
not be 30 million of liquid assets, though, Ben.
Ooh, I'd have to get a breakdown, I think.
Liquid ass. Liquid
I've
assets.
already got the liquid ass. I think I need a breakdown of his assets.
Unless you get married.
That's true. Then I get 50% of everything. Unless he makes me sign a prenup.
Assuming-
and he's a celeb, he probably will.
He'd probably slap a prenup on you. Unless you were deeply in love.
Which we probably would be.
Ben, would you have a prenup?
That is a very good question. Are we talking currently, or if I was of his level?
Like right now, and I'm
Right
trying
now,
to exclude Paul Rudd from the equation.
No,
if
I'm
you
just
can.
wondering if I was like super successful, very wealthy.
No. You're nowhere close to that. You're now.
I'm just kind of casually making it rain a little bit of YouTube money. I would
Sure.
go for prenup with Amber, or in general.
I don't want to. It's hard to say because obviously, no, both. But what? Try and give me,
Okay.
if you can. Both.
With Amber, I don't think I would. Just because, like, I'd like to think by now I know her very, very well,
And she makes it rain a bit. But you know her while she likes you.
No. Yeah, true. But equally, I can see what she's like with other people. So you kind of get to know the real person, like just in general, not just how they are with you.
But do you?
I think you do. I mean, sure, everyone.
Do you think 2 years is enough for that, Ben, to know how someone is?
It's a bit more than 2 years now, maybe 2.5. But
Maybe.
coming up to 3. But yeah, I think she's a decent person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, for example, like one of my past relationships, I took really bad when we broke up, but I wouldn't ever do anything to fuck him over because I'm just not that kind of person. Like, as much as I hated him, I wouldn't do anything to fuck them over.
But that's individual differences.
Yeah,
Ben.
yeah, but that's what I feel like. Amber's very much like me on that sense. I think she wouldn't like try and screw me. Do you know what I mean?
So I assume like all celebrities have them.
Oh, I think you'd be a fool not to.
But do you think even celebrity couples have? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I would definitely say so.
Because you have to be very independent. But what about celebrity couples that are not? See, would you think that they're more likely to get a prenup if they're with another celebrity or without, or with someone who isn't a celebrity? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I would say, personally, if I was a celebrity, I'd be more likely to get a prenup with someone who wasn't. But equally, I don't think I would.
But then they're going to be more dependent on you.
Yeah, I would. I think I would still get a prenup with someone who was a celebrity, because just because you got a lot of money doesn't mean you don't want more.
But then, do you not want to be at a point in your life where it's not just your money; it's the money for your family?
That's a tough one.
But then I think what some people do sometimes is they can be very blasé with the actual term prenup. Prenup is a very wide term and can mean a lot of things. It could a prenup can literally say they get 40%.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a prenup isn't one set thing that one person gets all the money, the other person doesn't. It's actually way more complicated than that. But going off the general term, I guess.
I mean, like, I think like obviously stuff like
it doesn't always fuck over the person who's on the other end.
But I mean, stuff like the family home. Definitely, if you both bought that together, split it 50-50, sell it, split it 50-50. But like, there's no reason why the other half should get, a percentage of your earnings when you've earned it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then the other person, the who isn't the celebrity, might say like, I helped you earn that money by being there for you and like creating a stable life for you to be for you to have.
That's weak.
So
that's weak.
You think?
Yeah.
You don't think that like the support network is worth anything?
Well, I mean, to a degree maybe, but not worth what they'd probably be expecting to get.
But they could, say that I was the one that like kept you together in their head so that you could go out and earn all this money and fed you and kept you healthy, and I don't know.
Nah,
I'm assuming like we're going from a generic role, whether male or female only.
Yeah.
Receiving end of the prenup is like just a stay-at-home house. Husband.
I mean, I get it.
Housewife.
I do get that. I think there is an argument there, but I think at the end of the day, and I don't blame them. If I was in their shoes, I would try and get every penny I could. Why not? But I think it's a bit weak though. I think, if you guys decided it's not working and you're going to split up, just split up, take what's yours, it's rightfully yours, and then leave it at that. Sadly, people they don't follow my train of thought, but, it's just where it is.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Speaking of celebrities, actually, one thing I did want to ask is, I'm not really into the news on the YouTube drama stuff, but I have heard things going on with this Jake Paul dude, just mainly about his house, and the neighbours being really pissed that loads of fans are turning up, and him being swatted and stuff like that. And I guess this kind of goes back to the whole Starfucker thing. Like, where does the boundary lie with even YouTube celebrities? Because I remember, back in the day when I was like, this is Stone Age stuff. This is when I was like 14, 15 or something. I was really into a band.
I like the 70s.
Yeah, the 70s, yeah. I was really into a band, a British band called Oasis, which, I'm sure everyone's heard of. And I did go to their houses and knock on the door and ask for autographs, which I look now and go, wow, that's
so scummy.
Yeah, it's really scummy. But every time
you knocked on their houses.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of the time I would just, because I'd go every now and again, I'd just turn up and I'd just wait. I wouldn't knock on the door. I'd just stand there and wait.
My God, you're a fan, Ben. I'd never knew that.
Yeah, definitely. And don't get me wrong, they were super nice, man. They were cool. And
did they open the door?
I knocked once. Every other time I'd just wait, and if they came out, cool. When I knocked once, Liam Gallagher opened the door and he was like, "What's up?" And I was like, "I just wondering if you're going to come out anytime to sign." He was like, "Yeah, I'll be out in like 10." And he was cool, and he came out and signed. He was really good. I should have pointed that out. I didn't knock normally. I knocked once. But every time I go, there'll be people waiting outside. Like, every time. Because this was in the 90s when they were huge. They were massive.
That's the saddest thing.
Yeah. So, but like I say, I personally get a buzz off meeting people that I like or who are famous. I don't know why. I don't have a clue why. Because they're just humans. I don't have a clue why. But,
I think it's natural. Like, I think it's an actual, instinctual thing to, like, look up to like people who, and that's the thing is like our perceptions changed. Like in the caveman's times, it was everyone would be a fan over the strongest and biggest person who can, or the smartest person, and who's good at the most stuff. And like that's, you know, it was a way of like favoring the strongest people in the group,
the alpha
so
male.
that they could, and I think that's like what's kind of transferred into like our modern age celebrity thing. And it's funny because nowadays people become celebrities for all sorts of odd reasons.
Yeah, very true.
That in the old days would not hold up for like a second. But I think that's where it roots from, is like that, the whole alpha thing.
That's interesting.
I think it's more complicated than just like alpha male, because I think it happened with like, you know, I'm sure it happened with like women as well, and like you know, and it's more than just like a physical, like, oh, he's the strongest. I think it's like more than that. I mean, the best, you know, it was like the best. You still had like singing and stuff, and you know, and like entertainment things, and whoever could tell the best stories type thing. Like, you know, you still have like that, and I think that's where it came from.
That's interesting,
and it's just slowly evolved into like this odd mess it is now.
I think a lot of it nowadays in the modern society is also to do with bragging rights, because everyone, when they meet someone, they want a selfie. It's not that it used to be just like, I just want to get an autograph. Now it's more, I don't really care about an autograph. I just want to get a selfie.
Maybe. I don't know. I've never really seen someone brag about meeting someone.
You never see them chuck on Instagram like, oh, I met Quibblecop today or whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? It happens all the time.
But not like brag. Like, oh, I'm a better person.
No. But
like,
you don't need to say it to like imply it. Do you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not necessarily bragging as in like I'm better than you because I met them. Just like, look at me, I met them. That's cool.
I guess.
Which is, I mean, it's interesting. Like, I mean, obviously, if anyone like follows Quibblecop on here, they'll see that a little while ago on Twitter, like last week, I think it was, some kid was like filming him and Azzy in their apartment from their balcony.
Oh, really?
Do you not see that?
No.
Yeah, man. Like I think he was like 15. He was like filming Geordie and Azzy and Geordie's mum Bridget moving stuff around on the balcony and stuff, and which is obviously not cool.
Oh, so he lives in the same building as Geordie.
It was either the same building or one across the street or something. I'm not sure. He sent Bridget round. This footage got deleted sharply. But yeah, I think like, to me, there's a boundary. Like, you know, going to someone's house, I know it's wrong, but like if you just stand outside on the pavement and if you happen to catch them coming out, that's one thing. But actually filming someone in their home is just kind of like, how do you...
See, I think standing outside their home is just as bad. Personally.
Do you think? Just as bad, really?
Well, you're trapping them.
True. But do you not also kind of come... I know it's interesting to hear this, because obviously you're kind of involved in it. It's like, do you not kind of think that with any sort of celebrity, you know, it's kind of part and parcel of the job?
I don't think people disrespecting you should be part of the job. But I also think that it's like not something you can change.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, if you aren't a fan of it, then stop doing it, type thing. Like, I don't have a problem with it. I know that the difference with me is, so far I found that I can stop people from doing it by being smart about telling people where I am and where I live and stuff like that. Someone like Geordie, for example, so like me and Jelly are quite like that. Jelly's a bit more so, he shows like his house quite a lot, which is cool, fine, because he has a very secure house. It's very hard to find, but he does say where and what area he lives in. But equally, the area he lives in is like a non-English speaking place, so it's kind of like you know, you don't really... It's an interesting ground with Jelly, because he's more like me, but he's been more open. But with Geordie, he's very... Yeah. Even when he says he's not, he's very open with where he is. I mean, he films off his balcony, which you could argue... Geordie would argue to me and probably say, oh, that doesn't show you anything. But it probably wouldn't take me long to figure it out. Yeah. So I'm sure there's people smarter than me. And obviously I know, but it's just if I didn't know type thing. Yeah. And because you just look at other buildings type of thing, you know, areas. And yeah, so I think to some extent, like, you ask for it. And if you ask...
You're dying there.
I just ate like a little crumb of a biscuit I had earlier, and I choked on it. That's what I get for eating in the podcast. Yeah. So, and I think that to some extent is if you are more open with it, you have to be more thicker skinned to deal with it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, I have a good thick skin with dealing with it, even though I'm more closed about it. So, because like I've had, because I live in different places. I don't live in one place. I've had people come up, but one of the first things I don't do is advertise it.
Yeah, of course.
I don't tell people that people have found me, because that makes people find me.
Well, if you found out, if you've posted that people have found you, that gives a challenge to other people. Right, someone else has found him, I can find him now.
Oh yeah, the last thing people do when someone tweets out or makes a video about fans coming to see them, or says it in any way, the last thing people do is decide, oh, I'm not going to do that.
Exactly. I remember when Geordie first moved into his... Well, he hadn't moved in yet. He was getting the apartment built, and he was vlogging like it being built. He said to me, because I was editing the vlogs, he said, I want you to blur it. Anytime you see a window, blur it. And I was like... I started blurring, and then eventually I was like, Geordie, man, your apartment is made of glass. Like, when you eventually move in, you're not going to be able to vlog. And he just was like, actually, you know what, you're right, don't worry about it. Because he was so desperate, I don't want people to know where I live in this place. And eventually he was like...
Let's be honest, Ben, you just couldn't deal with the work.
Man, too much work. It was loads of it. But I said to him, like, every time you vlog at home, it's going to be 3-4 times as long blurring it. And he was like, yeah, that's actually just don't worry about it. So it's good. Got me out of some work. I'm joking. But no, it's like, I mean, equally though, like, I don't want to speak ill of Geordie because I love him to bits, but I think he secretly does like it a little bit, you know, that people kind of know where he is.
I think everyone likes it a bit.
Yeah, I would.
It makes you feel wanted.
Exactly,
it's like,
big time.
It's like going to a party and everyone being like, yo!
Yeah, 100%.
Ben, how you doing? Yeah, which never happens for you. So if it was...
All the time.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's draining, but yeah.
All right. Do you think it's time for some questions?
Yeah, we got some questions. I picked some from last week's episode. So if you guys want to leave comments down below, we will maybe...
Oh, once again, let's plug iTunes.
Oh yeah, if you're not listening, if you're listening on YouTube, drop comments down below, and we will maybe ask them next week. If you're on iTunes, hey, how you doing? If you're not on iTunes but you want to go to iTunes, link will be in the description. So jump on the iTunes hype. How was that? Was that good? Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Questions. Okay, so let's just jump straight in. This question I didn't not really so bothered about the first bit. It was the second bit. It's from Frank Gaming. He says, what do you think...
What up, Frank?
What up, Frank? He said, what do you think about the Sniper Wolf drama, and would you ever help out friends when they get involved in a drama, or would you stay out of it? I think this is more... This one's more for you because you're kind of like in that scene. Not
what type of drama?
Sniper Wolf, from what I gathered, was it was kind of a case of she started like saying some shit about one of the FaZe guys, and then he basically said, you know, I'd stop if I were you. I got a lot of shit I could say about you. So she didn't. So he basically showed DMs or whatever of her trying to get in his pants, even though he had a girlfriend and stuff, and him turning her down and stuff. There's just a lot of drama, and then like one of his the FaZe guys came in and backed him up and was helping him. So I guess they're asking, you know, if one of Robust got in drama, would you get involved?
Depends. It depends. Like it's a simple case of like, if the first thing I'd do would be look at like what's going on. If Geordie or Jelly is like completely fine or in the wrong, then or nothing, they haven't done anything wrong, sorry, then I'd support them, because you know that's the right thing to do, and I wouldn't support anyone outside of Geordie and Jelly.
Not even me.
Simply
that's hard.
Simply because it's I don't think it's any of my business, and I don't. Well,
just learning your friends.
It's hard to say this.
Jesus.
Well, it's not. I'm not really including you because no one really cares.
That's true.
So I didn't really think about it. That's not fair. I'm just, you know, it's.
Yeah.
But someone like Geordie Jelly, I'm going to put a minimum of 1 million subs on it, so I can just ignore you for that rule.
Harsh.
Yeah. Well,
when Ouch Potato gets 1 million subs, I'm back in the game. So.
Well, no, because you only have a half of that. So.
Damn, I can't actually fault you on that. That's true.
But yeah, so Geordie and Jelly would be the only ones I support if they're completely in the right themselves. If there's like any sort of suspicion, I just keep away from it. Like if there's any sort of like possible suspicion, because it's just, I don't think it's my place.
It's tricky as well, because it's like it's the line between helping a friend and also potentially damaging your business.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one. I think you need to be really sure about it before you do it, basically.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a hard line. Like if there was any suspicion that something was like odd with it, then I'd probably just like. And it's not like I'm like ditching them when they need me most. I'm just like I'm sure that they'll deal with it themselves. Like I'm not. It's not like a case of me like shooting them in the kneecaps and running away. It's literally just.
I can imagine you
got it handled.
I think you got that.
In a zombie apocalypse, maybe, but not.
I think in general life, you've got that in you. I think you're quite blunt and emotionally detached. I think.
See, the thing is with me is I think personally that people should prefer someone like me because I'm not going to like hide things. So I'm like as I come. So the thing is, you know where you stand with me in a zombie apocalypse, but someone like someone else, you might not know. You might be constantly questioning how they see you, whereas you know if you're on my good side or bad side.
Well, I know with you, if there's a zombie apocalypse, you won't help me because I haven't got 1 million subs. So
that's not subs mean nothing in a zombie apocalypse, Ben. Get with the times. Come on.
Okay. Well, I think we should move on. Let's go.
I'd be seeing if you had any, interesting traits that would help survival. Probably not. I mean, editing videos doesn't do much in the zombie apocalypse.
Don't underestimate the ability to shit the bed. That's quite an impressive ability.
Level up, boy.
There you go. Okay, next question. Apologies if I pronounce your name wrong. I think it's Brian Scotch, but we'll go with that. Where are your favourite places to travel?
I actually don't know.
Do you like travelling or not?
Oh, actually, that's a lie, Josh. Come on. There's a few places I've really enjoyed travelling to.
Go on.
The first one, off the top of my head, is Norway.
I've never been. Always wanted to.
It's an amazing place.
Huh.
Honestly, it's really nice.
Okay.
What's next? That's probably it right now.
Just Norway.
I haven't really enjoyed other places I've been
That's
to.
Mad.
Norway was really nice.
What about, because like one of my favourite places to go to is one of the places you live in, New York. I absolutely love New York. Is it not a thrill? I know obviously it's different because you live there now, but
I don't particularly like New York that much. I don't not like it. And there's lots of good stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't particularly like the place and like what it's built on and like how it is as a place. Like I don't particularly, there's lots of different niches and things going on with New York that it's like you could talk forever about. And it, like as a place, its values are not that relevant to me. Like I don't feel. Does that make sense?
I always tend to romanticize New York in my head, so I get so excited to go. And then when I'm there, I don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's not as amazing as I'd imagined. As I keep remembering,
I mean, it's a very dirty place, and there's lots of.
But then I come home and I start romanticizing
people.
it again. I'm like, oh my god, I miss New York so much. I go back, I'm like, yeah, it's great, but it's not quite as amazing as I keep thinking it is. But I don't know.
No. I mean, there's lots of problems. Like, you've got like rampant gentrification. Like the whole idea of like the city is like completely screwed up with like racial issues. Like,
is it really?
Oh yeah, like it's. But then again, that's just how it is, and I'm not gonna say that people are doing it wrong. It's none of my business. But that's why I'm saying I'm like indifferent about New York City. By the way,
right.
Not New York.
Yeah, I should have specified
New York
the city.
As a place is very different, but. Okay. I don't know. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that the only reason I asked Brian's question was to stem onto Sophia Andrews' question, which was I can't decide if it was for you and Alyssa. I don't think it was because you guys do live together. So I'm going to put it as in for us. If you were to move in together, which country would it be and why?
Wait, you and me?
Yeah. So if we were just going to get
England, obviously.
If I could move anywhere, it would not be England.
But you don't know what it's like to live anywhere.
No, but I'd like to find out.
But you can't just know.
No, but I'd like. I personally.
Are we talking like realistically, or just like
if you and me just wanted to like say we were both single, we want to get a lads pad together. Where would
it would be England? It makes the most sense. Like, we're based in England, we're born in England, we know how England works.
Change where we're based.
Well, not really. Like, you can't just live in another country.
Well, I mean. Maybe we could. My brother's an American citizen now, so I could always try and get in that way. And
And how did he do that?
He married an American girl.
Exactly. Yeah. You cannot get in through your family, like anyway. Like
well, I mean, to answer that question, though, for me, in a perfect world, it would be LA. I want to. Well, not LA, California. I want to live in California. That's the dream. Even if just for a few months, like 6 months, just to see if I like it. That's why I just like.
See, I'm not a huge fan of America's a very interesting place at the moment. It's evolving very fast, and it's not. I think it's like I don't particularly like living. Like I love the thing is of America is it's where everything's happening and it's where my life is based around, and it's interesting. I've got a lot of people there. I've got a lot of fans there. I've got a lot of friends there. So like for that reason alone, I'll live in America. But as like a place and like a structure and a country, I'm not a particularly fan of how it is at the moment, and neither am I of England, to be honest.
Yeah. You should just move to Norway, Josh.
Well, Norway's just boring.
Oh, you just said it was good.
That's the issue. Just because, it's nice. It's a nice place.
But I wouldn't want to live there.
But that doesn't make it... That's what I mean. Like, the structure of Norway is great, but there's nothing happening. Right. But there's everything happening in America and in England, but it's a messy structure. Yeah. So it's like you can't get the best of both worlds. No. And, someone might equally turn around and say it's because of those opposite factors that they cause each other. So a good structure causes a boring country, and a bad structure causes an interesting country. You might argue that they caused each other, so you could never have a good structure in an interesting country. But I don't know. There's never going to be a perfect place to live, I don't think.
I just like the thing I like about California is two things. It's the constant nice weather, which is just I don't have seasonal affective.
I'm not constant nice weather is
pretty much
stretching.
It's pretty much is though.
Humid heat.
No, not in California, man. It's dry heat. It's lovely.
But it's still hot, I guess.
Nah, and
the weather is good.
The weather, and also everyone says, I don't know if it's just particularly LA in general or if it's California, but everyone says that all the Californians have this like fake happy attitude. I adore that attitude. I know it's very un-Josh, but for me, it energizes me and makes me happy, and like I love it. I thrive off it. I can imagine you absolutely loathing it, but
no, I prefer realistic attitude.
That's why you're in New York.
You get a bit more of that in New York, yeah. And more so in England. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of LA.
Really, I find just people. This is a very sweeping.
I don't think you've been there enough.
I've been there quite a few times, but you're probably right. I'd like to live there.
How many times? 3?
Nah, probably like 6, 7 now.
Oh, really?
But I just really like them.
I feel like you haven't been there long enough to actually live there.
I think I should be there longer to actually soak it in and see if it's really what I think it'll be. But I think
you've been a bubble each time.
Yeah, possibly. But it's something I'd like to find out anyway. That's on my list to find out. But obviously now I've got Amber to think about as well. So if she doesn't want to do it, I can't do it. It's a tricky one, but I'm sure I'll get there at some point.
The prison of relationships.
Well, there you go. Right, next one. Sunny Rex asks, Josh, what is next in your career, like apart from YouTube? Is there anything apart from YouTube you might be delving into, or no plans as of yet? I mean, obviously you got the podcast, which is on iTunes now. Link in the description. Brilliant.
It's hard to say because I'd love to do some more. Because obviously I'm doing plenty of like private things. Right. With money I make from YouTube, and that's going well enough for me, like to just do anyway. But obviously I'm 20 years old, so I'd like to continue doing things that change people's lives or change the world, like doing things that mean something.
Do you think your YouTube channel changes the world and changes people's lives?
Well, no, I think I affect the world.
Wow.
Like not and I mean a world in like a very that's a very open term. I mean that like my videos go up and I change and I affect someone's day.
Oh, okay.
Someone will change their day around doing. Does that make sense? Like if I was to work in, I don't know, hanging TVs or something, I'm like not really having a huge effect on the world. Like I'm doing a service for a couple of people a day, and that's just
but
it.
You're probably
and that's
making
fine.
Their days by doing it, because now they've got a sweet TV hanging on the wall.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like with what I do right now, I affect a lot of people.
Right.
At once, and nowhere in comparison to the total population, but like I affect a lot of people's lives, hopefully for the positive, and that's like a good thing. And I'd like to, considering I'm young, still do stuff like that for the next 10 years or so. Even though I think I'm in a position where I could just go, like pull away from it and focus on myself and stuff. But I don't. It's hard to say, like especially when YouTube's still doing well, you have to kind of focus on building that, but also be thinking about the next step.
Yeah, of course. I think you'd be a fool if you didn't think of the next step.
No, of course. But right now it's a case of like just still making sure I'm like if you focus too much on the next step, you can lose touch with what you're doing now.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's fair answer.
I think it's one of those things like if my channel was like dying, then it would be smart to start like putting less effort into the channel, but my channel's still doing well and people still enjoying probably to some extent my content.
Still changing the world. So
still changing the world, man.
Video by video. There's one last question. I was going to ask another question, but I'm not going to. It's a question I was going to ask last week, but we ran out of time. So I can't remember who asked it. Apologies, whoever asked it. But it was along the lines of, have you and me ever had an argument? And I wanted to get your take on that.
Oh yeah, we've argued.
Okay.
I'm like a firm believer in arguments are the only thing that really gets you places sometimes.
Because I didn't know if you classed it as an argument or just...
Well, I'm not going to dance around the name of it. Call it an argument, don't call it an argument. But, I mean, from what the basic term of an argument is, we've sure had those. But I'd say we haven't had any dumb arguments.
No.
Like, arguments that are just, like, one of us trying to, like... Because you have a lot of dumb arguments in relationships, for example. Two people that argue about someone taking the bin out, taking the trash out, and like that's what I'd call a dumb argument. Those people in the relationship are usually fighting not for that reason, so they're fighting because they're not having enough sex, or they're not communicating with each other, and then they transfer those problems into taking the trash out. That's what I call a dumb argument. And they're still necessary in relationships sometimes to express themselves. We've never had a dumb argument. You know, we don't have any issue with the amount of sex we have with each other.
That's plentiful.
I mean, you know what I mean though. We have, whenever we've argued, it's always been about work and about getting stuff done, and it's like for the better at the end.
Yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know. Like I said,
If I feel like you're being a dumbass.
Yeah, which you kind of do daily.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty. I was going to say it's productive. It's not really. It kind of makes me want to work less. But you say that, but I don't think that's like. It might make you want to work less, but the content, like the effects of it, are better. Like I think that if I was to like butter you up every time, love that,
and you would just fall into like mediocrity.
Yeah, nice.
You would just be like. You just get more comfortable and more comfortable with what you're doing to the point where you're just making crap.
I remember there was one time when I was just chilling out with Amber and I was waiting for you to reply about something. And I think you said like, perfect, thanks. And we both just looked at each other like, holy shit. Just thanks. Like we couldn't believe it. It was like, I'm going to fucking screenshot this text message because this happened. It was amazing.
All right. Well, so in the future, I expect a thank you for every time I pay you.
I thank Nicola for that. I mean, she pays me.
But okay. Well, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I assume that you working for me is enough thanks.
If I thank you personally every time I get paid, I would definitely do that if it meant I got thank yous throughout the month.
Well, Ben, if I thanked you all the time, then you wouldn't see any value in saying thank you.
Okay, just sprinkle one in every now and again. It just keep me on my toes. It'd be lovely. It gives me goosebumps.
It's a little thing. You star fucker.
That's me. Right, we're running out of time. I've got to go shit the bed. So thank you everyone for listening, whether it be on iTunes, link in the description, or here on YouTube. I say here.
Can we get iTunes link at the top of the description this time? I don't think it was at the top of the description.
It wasn't at the... do you mean under our Twitters or literally above that?
No, above our Twitters. Put our Twitters in the description right now.
Well, if we're going to do that first, I'm going to have to switch our Twitters around so I'm still visible on the top line when people come.
Oh my God, you care so much about this, Ben.
You've got so many more followers than me on Twitter. You guys, go on my Twitter and follow me immediately. Thank you.
Oh, you're not even that interesting.
I'm fairly interesting. And remember, don't forget to tweet at Quebblecop. Have you ever shit the bed? #OuchPotato. That's the most important thing you can take away from this podcast. And like I say,
yeah, and we're gonna learn from this what power we have with the podcast.
Exactly. And like I say, drop some questions down below for next week's episode.
Maybe ruin some more lives.
That'd be fantastic. Yeah. Cool, guys. Well, thanks for joining us, Josh. It's been great. Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye to the people.
Bye.